this for the longest time, bro. This nigga Trey low-key makes some of the best videos there are, bro. This nigga right here, Trey, with 3 Ys, makes some of the best videos. Shout out Trey. That nigga's OC, bro. I gotta watch this shit, bro. I was gonna kill myself because of this game. Nah, that shit was crazy. I hope you ain't had no money on that shit, nigga.
We talked about the Spurs, and we're not done doing that. We went back and reminisced on the good old days, but it wasn't enough. And so now we about to talk about the good old days, the era a lot of us grew up in, bro, where our heroes rode. The 2010. A lot of storylines, a lot of moments, a lot of lore. From start to end, this shit was a movie. So
facts. 2010 was
Nobody said
crazy.
They wanted to see the 90s. They said they wanted to see some real ball. Or maybe that's just for another time, bro. But for right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it.
More money, more problems. More guns, more violence.
It's Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. Kobe's looking to go back-to-back, and the Celtics are looking to bust his ass again. And so the greatest rivalry of all time continues. Lakers take Game 1, Celtics take Game 2. Lakers take Game 3, Celtics take Game 4. They go back-to-back and take Game 5, and LA takes Game 6, leaving us to a classic Lakers-Celtics Game 7 in the final.
And the Lakers with that terrific performance in Game 6. And what a turnaround here in Game 7.
It's like that, Kobe gets his 5th and 2nd without Shaq. And the 2010 season was to a close. And a pretty good year for a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of motherfuckers hooping that year. But the primary focus was on the back-to-back MVP. Drafted to his hometown, but his hometown has been sucking ass for years. No real reliable, consistent co-star. You know what I'm saying? These niggas making my boy look bad. And LeBron said, enough is enough.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Yeah, the South Beach, we know. Bro did everything he could for Cleveland for now. But the fans didn't think someone was burning all his shit.
Yeah, I don't know why niggas was hating on Brown, bro.
Seen the Heat as a super team, making these niggas the #1 public enemy. Now, don't get me wrong, Miami was definitely hot topic, but do not forget about the rest of the NBA, bro.
Right, that's what I'm about to say.
There's a lot of killers in the event. KD's coming off his first scoring title and going into his second. Back-to-back defensive player of the years for Dwight. Blake Griffin's having one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. Melo just got sent to New York. Kobe still hooping. And then there's one.
That motherfucking boy.
Hey everybody, my name is Sam, aka Sambucha, and I'm a YouTuber who makes variety content ranging from challenges to gaming to pretty much anything.
Ideation is by far the biggest time spent for my creative process. A cool example of a video that just was created out of thin air was I scrolled to the bottom of the YouTube Shorts feed. That was a video that Spotter Studio had just generated, and I thought it was like the greatest thing ever. We ended up being able to flesh out the concept entirely through Spotter Studio, and a lot of people ended up also doing that video. So that concept not only resonated with me and my audience, but it seemed like across the
Chicago's very own Derrick Rose. Despite all the hype Miami had around their name, despite all the other insane talents in the league, Derrick Rose was the show of the season. Took the Bulls to first seed, MVP at 22, making him the youngest ever. He was even busting the Heat.
I don't know why I even started watching that. That shit was basically just AI.
When them playoffs came, LeBron took his toilet tissue and smeared it all over the East. Gentlemen smeared it all over the East. Nasty work. Y'all get them next year. Over in the West, though, all types of nutty shit happened. Grizzlies beat the Spurs. Grizzlies was a fucking 8th seed. Zebo and Tony Allen.
Yeah, see, niggas don't know about Zebo. And, they had them niggas lit.
Went toe to toe.
That's why when Ja came back, they was like, nah, these niggas is lit. What the fuck? They had them niggas back lit.
Had to get them out of there Game 7. So we had OKC versus Dallas in the Western Conference Final, and for 1.5 ball knowledge points, who won? The Mavs, you fucking casual. Everybody laugh at this casual. And yeah, LeBron is put in a jail cell all series. Mavs had more boxes than a homeless nigga. 8 points in Game 4. 2 points in the 4th quarter of Game 5. Let Jason Terry outscore him for the series. 2011 is a forbidden number to LeBron fans. You could literally ask the nigga who walked in on his wife getting her duties beat down. Ask him in that moment, what would he rather forget? And he'll damn near forget about the first shit because he was so happy he chose the second shit. But more importantly, the winner just had one of the greatest final runs of all time. To win his first chip, and
that nigga, oh my god, I don't know how he beat everybody.
Now, before the next season even started, the NBA was already on some bullshit. The owners wanted more bread, and the players' union said no. They were at a standstill, which meant no more
this was
basketball.
the lockout year. This is the lockout year.
No more NBA basketball.
Yeah, nah, niggas was hooping.
It was
Indictment, fucking Drew League, all the other leagues, Jamal Crawford crossover. Niggas was hooping, bro.
To Rucker Park gave him 66. It was damn near the street ball version of the bubble. If the owners weren't gonna let him hoop,
they was gonna hoop somewhere else. Nah,
facts.
facts.
Fairy tale. Niggas was losing money. Players weren't going overseas because they liked China. Because the NBA wasn't paying them. They weren't playing. So the players union basically folded, and the $1 billion owners won. Shocker. So the season starts on a Christmas, and the Lakers were gifted a Christmas miracle. CP3 to the Lakers. Shit. What would have been the craziest trade in Lakers hitting? Imagine a Kobe Bryant, not even 2 years removed from a championship, still averaging 25, teaming up with a 25-year-old that's arguably the best pure point guard in the league. Together, they could be insane. And David Stern said,
nope.
No.
Stop that shit right now. I don't see, and this is why I say, that's why I say Adam Silver, like, the way this nigga got the league going, he want the big shit, the big names. David Stern said, no, I'm gonna have my league how I want it, nigga. Stop playing with that shit, bro. No, CP3 is not going over to.
It's gonna be really hard to keep up with them big dogs in the West. OKC and San Antonio. Pockets on fat, I think you gotta take. Another scoring title. James Harden is 6th man of the year. Westbrook makes his first All-Star game. And the Spurs, I mean, bro, they're the fucking Spurs. It's the same shit. Not a single thing on that team.
Most boring, consistent team there is.
A rivalry brewing. The MVP of last season versus the MVP of this season. Yeah, the Pacers were good. Linsanity was going on. But this was the matchup of the East. Bulls were looking for revenge on LeBron. So going into the playoffs, that was the matchup everybody was hoping for. But unfortunately, instead, we had a top 10 worst sports moment ever. D-Rose tears his ACL and the Bulls are out of contention, meaning the Heat were going to have to find someone else to play in the conference final. And what they ended up finding was nothing sweet.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. This video hard. This video hard. I fuck with this shit, bro.
Could still win another one. And it was looking like they could. Rondo giving them 44 and 10. Paul Pierce spraying it. They ended up being 1 game away from the finals, and that game was played at home. LeBron, are we about to see a...
Do we gotta say what really happens next? Game 6, LeBron. I'm talking about that motherfucking villain, nigga. I'm talking about that motherfucking, you know what I'm talking about? You know that picture. If I say Game 6 LeBron, you know the picture that I'm talking about right now. I don't even gotta say nothing. Game 6 LeBron. I don't gotta say nothing.
We did not see another fumble. That is the look of a nigga that can.
You see that motherfucking look, boy? It ain't. Oh my God, one of the greatest playoff performances ever. Nah, facts.
Whoever wins between the Spurs
and OKC,
facts. I'll save you some time, bro. OKC win, meaning we had a KD and LeBron finals.
Ain't that crazy? KD versus LeBron, bro. This only happened one time.
Somebody was getting their first ring. It was looking like OKC after game 1, but every game after that. Well, yeah. Why don't you just sit back and watch the tape? And just like that, Bron wins his first championship in Miami. After all
twice.
Finally got him.
3 times?
OKC, keep your head up, bro. Y'all got hella potential.
KD versus Bron happened what, 3 times? But it was only, this was the only time their teams were like, nah, you can't even say their teams were even. I wouldn't even say their teams were even this time. So then, and then when he was on the Warriors, their team wasn't even that time either. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So I and everybody else thought, everyone including the Thunder front office, Harden wanted a bigger role and a max. Max being $5 million.
I don't know, but KD to the Warriors.
Original
that team versus the Cavs weren't necessarily
and sent him to Houston. Probably the biggest mistake in their franchise history. Yeah, and honestly, OKC don't make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, $5 million over Harden. He took that shit personal, bro. From 17-4 to 26-6, first year. This was looking like the start of something insane. But I ain't gonna lie, OKC was not losing too much sleep. That whole next season, they were better without him. First seed and looking for revenge. With or without Harden. Not fucking with the taste LeBron left in their mouth. And speak of the devil, from 2012 to 2013, we're seeing a LeBron we have never seen before. 27, 7, and 8. Gets his 4th MVP and 2nd in DPOY. And Marc Gasol fucking won after being 2nd all-team defense. Meanwhile, the Lakers were making their team super fucking ass. Oh, how quick a picture could turn into a meme. They didn't get along.
Y'all know how
bad team was like injury prone, and Kobe tore his Achilles. And yeah, many of y'all know that was the start of the end. Despite eyes being on the finals rematch,
unfortunately, bro, that was my nigga, bro.
Spurs still the motherfucking Spurs. Shit don't change, bro. Nick second
Spurs really are just the Spurs.
He makes his first All-Star game. Nuggets are 3rd seed? Bro, I don't remember the Nuggets being anything higher than like a 6 seed before Jokic. If that, you're telling me Ty Lawson and Kenneth Faried had these at 3rd?
How do you whisper Diddy and it's in caps?
Prepared us for this beautiful series. The number 1 defense versus the number 1 player. Who wants
Big Sexy Jazz was good though. How are you? Bro, basketball is so peak. Basketball is so peak. Oh my god. Look at the jerseys, bro. Look at the crowd. White hot. Y'all remember this shit, bro.
The Heat went on to play the Spurs, who steamrolled through their cakewalk, swept the Kobe-less Lakers, beat a 6 seed Golden State in 6, and then swept Memphis. No OKC because Pat Bev, Russell Westbrook, giving us the one and only beautiful masterpiece 2013 NBA Finals. Miami looking to go back-to-back, and Spurs looking to win their first one in 6 years. Shit was set to be a movie, and it did not disappoint.
Lord knows I don't like them niggas. We killing you too if you hang with them niggas. You fuck with the ops, then you one of the ops. I don't care if you playing the game with them niggas.
The Spurs are up 3-2 in Miami. Manu at the line puts them up 5, and now the Heat are down 2 possessions with under 30 seconds left. Do you think A, the Spurs are gonna win, B, the Heat are gonna win, or what about option C, where you say fuck the ending? It was looking bad for Miami, man. It was gonna take a miracle to win this game.
James catches, fires a 3.
Shit.
Picked up by Miller. Back out to James, another 3. It's good. James knocks it down. Has to get it in. Finds Leonard. Leonard fouled by Miller. Watch one there from Leonard. James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His 3-point.
Dang!
The game ends up going to OT in Miami.
Y'all know about that. Y'all know about that Mike Bring Bang, nigga.
Miami did it, man, back to back. And one of the most beautiful series ever. Damn. I know San Antonio was thinking about those last 30 seconds all summer and was determined to get that lick back. You know what I'm saying? Ran it back with the same old and just hoped they could get back to where they left off. Meanwhile, other old niggas was going through it. KG and Paul Pierce were putting on Nets jerseys. Lakers were fried. Kobe was cooked. It's a Miami, OKC, San Antonio league. But the Heat were looking a little mortal. Bosh and Wade weren't exactly who they used to be. LeBron's still LeBron, but shit, teams and players are getting better. Shit, KD wins MVP.
You sacrifice for us. You the real MVP.
That was you the real MVP was a meme for the longest.
Westbrook for like half the season. Led the league in scoring with 32. Gave Golden State 54. No one could guard this nigga. Yeah, Houston solid, Pacers solid, Clips solid. But the focus going into the playoffs was on the main character. Miami had a rematch with Indiana, but nothing changed. Heat 1-6, making this their 4th straight final. And over in the West, we're seeing a battle for who's going to be able to get that gift.
Mind you, this is LeBron's 4th straight finals. God damn, how many finals did... Why I look down in chat and see this BS? I don't know, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Spurs 1-6, making this a finals rematch, and it was not as cinematic as last year. Spurs get them niggas out of there in 5 games. Heat just look washed. A lot of shells out there on the court, and then LeBron's cramping and shit. San Antonio
2014. I'm not gonna lie. He had the lead, bro.
Like Golden State before Golden State. Kawhi fucking him up, Finals MVP, and that is that for both of those dynasties. I mean, you know, not to spoil anything, but LeBron leaves Miami to finish unfinished business in Cleveland.
What do you got to offer? Tell me before we offer. Put you deep in that coffin.
LeBron joins a young Kyrie, fresh off an All-Star MVP, and a K-Love that was just averaging 26 and 13 in Minnesota. The rest of the East.
Dude, this is a horrible gaming experience. I don't live like this. Well, I don't know, Linus. I don't have time to research upgrades for this.
Sweet. The Hawks were the first seed, led by Kyle Korver. Bulls got the MIP.
Killer
Jimmy
Kyle
Butler,
Korver, nigga. Y'all know about him.
Pacers don't have Paul George. Just broke the shit out his leg. DeMar and Kyle Lowry up and coming.
If you know about PG, come on,
bro. Just take me to the
John Wall,
the Spurs
bro.
Are looking to repeat with their Finals MVP and now Defensive Player of the Year. Where Houston Harden is having the best year of his career. Lob City still throwing lobs, and the Warriors are 67 and fucking 15. Yeah, nah, this was a different Warriors. The whole time, the same Warriors. It was just like 2015. You saw the perfect storm. Curry transcends in the MVP talent and literally wins an MVP.
Curry really like just start turning up before our eyes, and this nigga just became the
37 in one quarter. Draymond top 2 in D points. High Steve Curry, deepest bench in the league. Yeah, nah. This
nigga,
is
no,
the first
you're
playoffs
too
in
young.
a completely different.
Green on Paul.
Craziest was blowing a 3-1 lead. The series right after. Harden and the Rockets advanced to the conference finals to play Curry and the Warriors. And Curry murked them in 5. 31 points per game. Best player on the court. Welcome to the NBA Finals. Stephen Curry, first of many. Over in the East. Shit, low-key bus. I ain't gonna lie. This Chicago and Cleveland series was a movie, but Cleveland came out on top. In the Eastern Conference Finals was the Hawks versus the Cavs. And remember, Hawks were first seed. This wasn't going to be easy. First seed, Bird P, curse me. DeMar Carroll on LeBron. LMA.
DeMar Carroll, dude. You gotta look like that nigga. Daniel, wasn't this just like peak basketball back then, bro?
Oh. No Kyrie either. Oof, I don't know how much of a chance you got now. From Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving to Timothy Mozgov and Matthew Dellavedova. LeBron probably thinking it's 2008 all over again, and it pretty much was. LeBron led the entire court in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. It was Wilt Chamberlain, so they gave the Finals MVP to Iggy for holding him to 36-13.
Bruh, they gave this nigga Iguodala the Finals MVP, not because he was the best player on the court, but simply because he was the one that had to guard LeBron. He didn't guard LeBron. That was just his. It was his position to guard the nigga, bro. So he got the Finals MVP. That was basically like a thank you for everything that you had to go through type of award. I'm not gonna lie. That was not like a okay, you are the best player type shit. No hate to Iguodala, but gang, the nigga just said he averaged 36, leading everybody in stats, gang. That shit crazy. LeBron was killing them though. Nah, bro, I remember, like, nah, I was like, I hated the Warriors back then. Now I can wasn't hate.
Next year, these niggas literally became the greatest team of all time.
Nah, literally.
Wins and not even 10 losses. Coach of the year.
Now I can appreciate greatness, but
all on the same team. Playing basketball in a way
before I hated them niggas, bro.
Everyone in they fucking mama.
Them niggas are so lit, bro. Them niggas are so lit. They only lost what, 9 games?
Time in basketball. And not even just because of
that's
that.
Not even
2016.
Money got longer, speaker got louder, car got faster.
Good old days. When the playoffs came around, Bron did what he does to the East, gets to the Finals and only lost 2 games. Cavs ready for that rematch. But what's this? OKC's up 3-1 to the Warriors. This is fantastic news. KD and Westbrook just 1 game away from their rematch with Bron. What could go wrong? Everything went wrong.
This is #1 champion sound, yeah.
Steph shut all that shit down, boy.
Warriors come back 3-1 to beat the Thunder and go back to the finals. Hey man, keep your head up, guys. It's always next year. The rematch everybody was waiting for.
It's always next year.
Their perfect season with a chip. LeBron's still chasing that first Cleveland title, and the only thing in their way at this point is each other. Let's play ball.
Play ball, baby.
Take game 1 and they could thank Sean Livingston. I don't think I've seen this nigga miss a shot in my life. Game 2 rolls by and the Warriors bust the Cavs. Draymond 28-7-5. Game 3 goes to Cleveland. Bron and Kyrie combined for 62. And game 4, this is the shit that changed everything.
Got a notion there to Barnes. Green and James jawing at each other while play continues. He takes a little swing of
Yo, my thing is, how did niggas go from this to this nigga like damn near, like how did niggas go from beefing like this nigga called him a bitch and shit and blah 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 to niggas, that nigga damn near riding that nigga, like that nigga don't need that nigga, bro.
After he objected to James stepping over him.
And just like that, Draymond is suspended. They reviewed this after the game and said it was a flagrant. Warriors still won, putting them up 3-1, but at what cost? No Draymond game 5, definitely gonna hurt. And Kyrie and Bron made sure of that. 40 balls from both of them. And then another
40 balls
from
both of them,
nigga.
nigga.
Do the math, bro. It's 3-3. And so we were set to have one of the greatest games of all time.
Listen to what I'm saying, bro. That's competitiveness. No friends on the court. Nah, facts. You right. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay? And this is what I mean when I say what I mean. Cause I be trying to say what I mean, but niggas don't be trying to listen to what I say. Listen, bro. Kyrie Irving and LeBron have won the most important finals of all time. So regardless of all this is, nigga, you came back from 3-1 down against the 73-9 Warriors, the greatest team of all time. And you win. Game 7. Literally the best game of all time. You've never seen this team, and you've never seen a 3-1 comeback. Literally the greatest team of all time. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, gang.
Tie game under 2 minutes.
Not gonna lie, the music selection in this joint is OC.
Cavs got the ball back. Wardell, may I have this dance? 2 of one of the greatest finals moments back to back. K-Love stops Curry from sending it to OT. And that is the game. First 3-1 comeback in finals history. Fuck the Warriors. Everybody lives happily ever after.
Stephen A. The news again coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors. How are you viewing this move
that was the
from Durant?
dumbest shit I've ever
Well,
seen.
I'm viewing how he's viewing. Nigga, I can speak for everyone. This is some bullshit.
So excited for book club.
That nigga ain't give a fuck. KD as a villain did not give a fuck, bruh. KD as a villain did not give a fuck, bruh.
How to ruin the peak of a sport in one move. To this day, don't care. Still the lamest shit I've ever seen. And pretty much everyone not in a Golden State jersey feels the same way. KD went from one of the most loved players in the league to being called a cupcake and a snake. A cup snake. But the person probably pissed off more than anyone else. Took
my
this
man
opportunity
Russ,
to
boy.
average 32, 11, and 10.
That shit merch, we been through that. That shit like Ghostland. My brother D-Thing just got killed and I've been slow since.
At the same time, Harden got moved to point guard and started averaging 11 assists with his 29 points. Spurs win 61 games behind Kawhi. And then in the East, there's a 5'9" nigga playing like an MVP. Multiple 50-point games. And led the
Damn,
Celtics to
Isaiah
a first
Thomas
seed
was
to make
that
their way to
nigga,
the conference
boy.
finals. And LeBron wipes
Shout out
his
to
ass with the East again. Sweep, sweep, gentlemen, sweep. Over in the West, we're looking at a Golden State Spurs conference final. Game 1, Spurs are dubbing their ass. And then Zaza Pachulia ruins the game. Matter of fact, ruined the series. Matter of fact, ruined the franchise. So Golden State swept every team and went 12-0. Another Cavs and Warriors final. What was supposed to feel like a tiebreaker. But nah, just a heart one. Warriors win in 5 games. Kevin Durant finals MVP. 35-8-5. Yeah. Doesn't this shit just kill the move? Imagine how motherfuckers felt during it. It was like the Great Depression of the NBA. We still had
never
another
got a
year
black
of
man
it.
more
Oh,
serious
one
than
more.
KD
But
that
everything
year.
before
That's
the
crazy.
inevitable
Nah,
in
but
2018
facts.
is crazy. Kyrie wants out of Cleveland. He wants
Oh
to
my
be a
God, this
leader.
shit
And Boston
hurts.
says hell yeah. Kicks Isaiah Thomas to the fucking shadow realm. Not immediately, but eventually. Cleveland now looks way worse, and the Celtics look really good. Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
That was a fucking team. And what I'm trying to tell niggas be talking about, like, bro, Kyrie was still the leader, the best player, and an MVP talks that year, bro.
Remember, nigga did not miss in the corner.
I don't know why he left,
from
though.
14th to a
It
third
hurts.
seed. They have the Rookie of the Year and
Trust the
someone who might
process.
be the best center in the
Trust
league.
the
telling us to
process.
trust the process. The East was looking the most competitive it's looked in a minute. In the West, well, I mean, it's the West.
Niggas have been dying out west. Niggas have really been dying. Like, it's been a slaughterhouse out west since I can remember, gang. The West has never not been a fucking slaughterhouse, gang.
Free the ones who incarcerated. When they get out, they scratch.
James Harden is this year's MVP.
Oh my God, I love
32
James
straight
Harden.
30-point
I love
games,
James Harden, I'm
60-point
not gonna lie,
triple-double.
bro.
Averaged 44 and 9 in January. OKC added Paul
The
George and
man
Melo.
is
Damian
averaging
Lillard looking
40.
Like a top 3-point guard. And then there's a rookie putting a franchise on his back. And in the first round of the playoffs, that same rookie sent OKC the fuck home. Him and Joe Ingles had Paul George out there looking silly. But that ain't the only upset or the worst. Nah. 6-seed Pelicans sweep the 3rd-seed Blazers. Drew Holiday and Rondo welcome Damian Lillard to hell.
I mean, you have Drew Holiday and Rondo, and then you still have AD. I don't think Boogie was there. I don't think Boogie was there. He shouldn't have had MVP, not gonna lie. LeBron was going stupid. I mean, like, okay, if we be honest, we can give LeBron the MVP just about
But of
every
course,
year.
we ended up with the Western Conference Finals.
Not
We
really
expect the
2020s,
Rockets
but
versus
like
the
all the
Warriors.
2010s, he could have had like 10. Oh my God, was this
but then,
top
no,
5 series
Chris
I've
Paul,
ever
old
seen,
ass
bro.
pull his hamstring. Golden State pushes it to 7 games. And then the
Nigga,
Rockets
old ass
missed
just can't play that intense, bro.
27 threes in a row, game 7.
Facts.
Meanwhile, LeBron's doing that thing again to the East.
LeBron
this time really
to-
just to Toronto. Went to 7 games with the Pacers. Went to 7 games with the Celtics. 4 games with Toronto. But that game 7 with Boston,
Oh
sent
my
him up. No
God,
Kyrie,
boy.
so a rookie Tatum had to step up to the plate. Yeah, he stepped up and put his nuts right in LeBron's face.
He dunked on my guy. That's why he lost. That's why he lost. He dunked on my guy, though. He got my guy. He got my guy. That's why he lost, though.
Cavs
Fuck that
Warriors
nigga.
series. JR forgets to score. KD averages 35. Not even 1 game this year. This wasn't just a I'm leaving the game dap up. This is I'm leaving Cleveland dap up. And that
Nah,
was the end of
facts.
2018.
Look, and that's the funniest meme. But nah, this is like, all right, y'all. This is me dapping up the
35. Not even 1 game
franchise.
this year.
Nigga.
This wasn't just a I'm leaving the game dap up. This is I'm leaving Cleveland dap up. And that was the end of 2018. But 2019, 2019. Kawhi is forcing his way out of San Antonio. He like, send me to LA now. Actually, we're gonna do you one better. send you to Canada. And to Canada, he went. LeBron joined the Lakers, and DeMarcus Cousins signed with the Warriors, which scared the shit out of everybody at first. But it wasn't no first. In 2019, Milwaukee's savior officially appeared. Giannis Antetokounmpo wins MVP. The Bucks
Giannis
first season have the best.
I used to hate Giannis too.
Philly, the process is looking trustworthy, and Boston and Kyrie are having a fallout. They ain't the only ones. Draymond and KD have invisible issues. Everyone's seeing it live in the flesh. Doesn't stop them from being first seed, but you know, doesn't help. And then the new LeBron Lakers suck. Just not a good year. He gets hurt. They miss the playoffs. But enough about missing the playoffs. Let's talk about the motherfuckers who made it.
Niggas yelling from the stands. Watch what you saying. Blowing peanut butter cookie in my cup like jam.
We're giving one of the greatest game sevens in
bitch.
NBA
What up,
history.
Perk?
Only took 4 seconds to get them Philly boys
what up,
the fuck
Perk?
out of there. Toronto goes on to play Milwaukee in the conference finals, and Kawhi put that nigga Giannis in a box. Meaning Toronto's in the finals facing whoever makes it out the West.
Yeah, hey, Echo, turn this beat off if I ain't tripping on it.
God.
Hey, making love to the juice, I'm just sipping on it.
It's all types of shit happening in the West. Dame sends OKC in a rebuild with a bad shot. Pat Bev trolling.
What's good, baby Joe? What's good, baby Joe?
So we had a Portland and Golden State conference final, but no KD. Portland actually had a chance. Yeah, this officially made Dame Curry's kid. So we have a Toronto and Golden State final. But with no KD, Toronto versus confident, going up 3-1.
Like Toronto
versus turning early, frying them, but gets hurt. And then
the
the next game, Clay gets hurt. And of course, the Raptors take advantage. Kawhi gives them 29 and 10, and Toronto their first chip. Golden State is finally
first and
defeated.
only chip. Them niggas will never get a chip again.
Please give this a like, bro. This shit. Hopefully, this was an adequate amount.
Yo, all right, y'all.